Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another review. This one's going to be for episode 14, season 5 of The Walking Dead, and it is called Spent. So yeah, let me just say off the bat, best episode ever since we've gotten to Alexandria. From the time we've gotten to Alexandria, I think this has to be the best episode ever. I'll explain why soon. So yeah, I got a lot of discussion topics on it, and yeah. Before I begin, no 10-second spoiler warning as usual for those that have yet to actually watch the episode and haven't already. Stop the video, go check it out, and come back here and watch the rest of this review. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up, so for those who have yet to actually watch the episode and haven't already, please don't comment down below or be messaging me that I will give you a video warning, because as usual, I did. So yeah, episode 14, season 5, Spend. What did I think about it? As usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and the rate. So yeah, it's kind of unbelievable that we have 2 episodes left, and again, the season final is supposed to be 90 minutes long. So yeah, such an incredible episode. So yeah, you have basically Glenn, Noah, Aiden, Nicholas, Eugene, and Tara, and they're heading to this power plant, or pretty close to this power plant from what it seems, to get stuff for the sun panels and the generators. And while they're there, all hell breaks loose, basically. Yeah, all hell breaks loose. Yeah, on the flip side, you have Abraham, and he's basically taking over the construction crew, which is pretty interesting. He saves this one girl, Felicia. Not Felicia. I want to say Felicia, but it's not that. Not Felicity. Something like that. Felina. Something, I forget. I don't know. But he saves this one girl, and it's pretty cool. And just the amount of zombies he kills. He has this machine gun, and he's just shooting zombies left and right. And it seems like the people in Alexandria, we see it twice, both with Abraham and Abraham's group and Aiden's group, that they are okay in sacrificing their own people so they themselves could survive. Yeah, Tobin, who's the leader of the construction crew at the beginning, he's willing to sacrifice this girl, and Abraham is like, hell no. And he goes and saves this girl. When he runs out with a machine gun, he I don't know, from like the table or whatever, he gets a mace, which is, for those who don't know, it's a bar with a spike ball at the end from like medieval time. He gets a mace and just starts whacking zombies left and right, which was hilarious. And I'm just thinking, where the hell did he even find a mace to begin with? But I'm like, whatever, it's pretty funny. And when you talk about weapons that we haven't seen against zombies, mace, that's a good one. I'm just whacking zombies left and right. That's hilarious. So yeah, and Abraham, he takes over the group. And then you have the stuff with Glenn, and then also a few stuff with Carol. I'm gonna talk about the stuff with Carol very fast. Basically, you have Carol and Sam, and basically, Sam, he's asking for more cookies. I'm just like thinking, look at the cookies, Sam. Look at the cookies, right? But no, Carol, she's like, very well, I'll help you make cookies. I'll teach you how to make the cookies, and then you could stop bothering me. And he asked for a gun. Now, if you read the comics, you more or less know what the gun's for. It's basically, I don't think he actually asked for a gun in the comics, but you get the idea. In the comics, in the comics, and it seems they're gonna do the same thing in the TV show. We have Pete, who basically he's abusive. He abuses his son, and wife, which in this case are Ron and Jesse. Actually, in the TV show, they also have another son, which is Carl's age. So yeah, they have 2 sons. So I guess he also abuses the other son. I don't know, cause yeah, because in the comics he abuses them physically. It doesn't really seem like they abuse him physically in the show, but then again, we really haven't seen full capacity of what he's able to do. He kind of, I don't want to say acknowledges the fact, but he kind of hints at the fact while he's talking to Rick as well. So yeah, and then the stuff with Glenn. Oh my gosh, for fuck's sake. Okay, 2 character deaths. I was gonna do a discussion topic on this before the show came on, but I kind of just ran out of time. I was doing homework and whatnot. But basically, there was a rumor going around that Noah and Aiden were gonna die in this episode, and I was thinking, I'm thinking, is it possible they could die in the episode? Yes. Is it possible that it's misleading? Maybe they will die eventually, but at the end of the season, maybe in the next episode or the next 2 episodes or whatever. Yes. but they die in this episode, and oh my, so one of the most gruesome deaths ever for I don't, I mean, yeah, really gruesome. Because Tyrese, he had a painful death because he was hallucinating. He got bit twice. He got his arm cut off. He was, losing blood. But Aiden and Noah, they had some of the most gruesome deaths on the show. When you want to talk about gruesome, you talk gruesome here, because we've never really seen we've never seen anybody actually get ripped apart. I mean, T-Dog, he was ripped apart, but we saw the aftermath of that. Same thing. I mean, Lori, she was kind of cut open. I mean, I'm trying to think of other character deaths. Herschel, he was decapitated. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Shane, he was stabbed. Jim was just bitten minorly. Jackie exploded. Andrew was shot. Thomas was macheted. Big Tiny, he was beaten with a hammer, so I guess that's pretty gruesome there, back in season 3. The governor, he was stabbed and then shot. Lily, she theoretically, she would have been ripped apart, but we didn't see that. So yeah, I'm just going over the characters. Martinez, he was ripped apart, but we didn't see that either, and we don't know if he survived. But this is the first episode where we see people actually getting ripped apart by zombies, with the possibility of not reanimating. Because T-Dog, I don't think he reanimated after he was ripped apart. At least it doesn't seem like that. Like, I mean, he didn't reanimate, we know that, but I don't think he was able to reanimate even afterwards, because the zombies just ripped him apart to, like, no extent. Here, it seems like they did the same thing with Noah and Aiden. You have Aiden, he's shooting this one zombie that turned while being a soldier or whatever, and the zombie has a grenade on his chest, because soldiers had grenades and whatnot, and he shoots with a rifle to the grenade, and he kind of just flies back onto this forklift, and the two needles or whatever, the two pipes of the forklift just kind of stab him, and oh my gosh, that's gruesome. And the zombies come towards him, and Noah and Glenn, they wanna rescue him, try to rescue him, but but Nicholas, he's like, we've done this before, we've abandoned our own people, who gives a shit, I want to survive, let's get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, Nicholas is such a coward, Nicholas is such a fucking coward. Even in the comics, he's a piece of shit, he's a piece of shit survivor, he's a coward. But here we see it too, and, Aiden dies. He basically dies. He gets ripped apart. And his death scene kind of reminded me, I forget what movie. I want to say it's Evil Dead or something like that, or maybe one of the Romero films. Because I've never seen a movie, but I've seen the scene. We have this one soldier, and he goes through this one door, there's a bunch of zombies, and he gets ripped apart, and he says, choke on my intestines, or something like that, he's screaming, choke on my intestines, and then this one other zombie just kind of shoots him in the head. That's kind of what it reminded me of. It was pretty cool, and also because the two actors kind of looked pretty similar, so, that was pretty cool. And then just again with Noah, oh my gosh, the revolving door of death right there, because we've never seen a revolving door in a zombie apocalypse. And yeah, it's utter hell. I never want to go in a revolving door in a zombie apocalypse. Because, again, Nicholas is a piece of shit survivor. So he's trying to escape, and he manages to weasel his dumbass out. But in order for him to weasel his dumbass out, because they're on opposite ends. So it's like, they're here. So it's like, so it's like, one of them, one of them's gonna have to die or something. One of them's gonna be facing zombies either way. Nicholas, he manages to escape because he's a piece of shit survivor. Glenn and Noah were trying to break the glass, but he gets nervous, so he escapes somehow. And Noah gets sacrificed, and again, one of the most goriest fucking scenes ever. He's put against the revolving door, the glass revolving door, right in front of Glenn. Glenn can't do anything, and Noah is just torn to shit. You see his mouth literally just just like ripping open. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's one of those things I wanted to look away, but I couldn't because it's just so gory and amazing. The special effects were amazing. And I'm just thinking, Nicholas, I really want to kill Nicholas. I really want to kill Nicholas. And the thing is, they even talked about this in Talking Dead. Nobody under Glenn's watch has ever died. He's never lost anybody under Glenn's watch. Or Glenn has never lost anybody under his watch. Because he saved Rick at the beginning. Morales, Jackie, Andrea, they all survived. Even Merle survived when you think about it. I mean, yes, he lost Merle, but Merle still survived. He ended up in Woodbury, but he still survived. Daryl, he still survived under his watch. T-Dog, he survived under his watch. Again, Merle survived. Maggie survived under his watch when he was going out. Michonne, to some extent, survived under his watch. I mean, everybody he's more or less known has survived. And he's never really experienced such a great loss. Um, he's never really experienced such a great loss, especially right in front of him. And Noah was kind of his best friend for the short time they knew each other. He was kind of his best friend to some extent in the apocalypse. And just to see him die in front of him, like literally like 2 inches away from him, and him not being able to do anything, possibly not even shoot through the glass because it's like plexiglass, just really sucks. I really feel bad for Glenn, and he's crying. You can see the emotion on his face, and Steven Yeun, pretty great actor. And you could just see he kind of stepped up his A game in there, and it was just so great. And Noah, sucks that he died. I'm gonna be doing a discussion on. I'm probably gonna be doing 2 discussion topics on that. One is his character spotlight, and another one is should they have killed off Noah, because he was still a great character, and I think he still had more time to go on. I mean, so yeah. Going off from there, also in the explosion that Aiden did, he kind of knocks out Tara, and then usually kind of has to step up, and usually he also steps up in this episode. Yeah, he steps up in this episode in just one of the most incredible ways. He stands up to Nicholas at the end of the episode, and he's shooting zombies left and right as well. I mean, he doesn't really have that much precision. He does miss a few bullets, but he's still killing zombies left and right. It's just pretty funny. And then at the end of the episode too, he's in Aiden's car right after Aiden dies, and he's just using this dubstep music to like draw the walkers away. I'm like, of course, out of all the music genres, dubstep's the one that has to survive. Because I'm not a huge fan of dubstep. I maybe like 2 songs in general, and that's it. I'm like, if it had to be any genre, couldn't it have been rock? I mean, yes, Merle did kind of bring back rock back in season 3 with with like 2 Motorhead, with a Ted Nugent song and a Motorhead song. So yeah, but dubstep also survived. And yeah, then you have Father Gabriel. Again, when you talk about piece of shit survivors, this is probably one of the most douchiest piece of shit survivors we also have. Nicholas and Gabriel right now. Gabriel, pretty piece of shit survivor right here too. He tells Deanna that Rick's people aren't good people, and Deanna's kind of like, yeah, I know that they survived in the apocalypse, they had to do stuff. And then Gabriel's like, no, you don't understand, they've killed people. And she's like, yeah, I understand, but just the fact that he wants to tell her, and it was just a weird conversation between the two. I didn't know what to make out of it. Like, was Deanna like I just don't know. It kind of seems like Gabriel got to Deanna to some extent, but she doesn't understand where Rick and his group come from originally. So it's kind of weird. And then the promos and honestly, the commotion that's gonna happen afterwards isn't gonna make it any better, because you have Aiden who dies. Nicholas is a piece of shit survivor who's probably gonna lie his ass just so he doesn't get in trouble. Abraham basically took over the construction crew. Maggie took over the Maggie's taking over as the the governess or whatever. They're trying to take over. You have Michonne and Rick as the police officers. Sasha as the head sniper, ahead of her own other son Spencer. Again, Abraham in the construction crew. You have Glenn and Tara as the lead. For supply runs, and also you were about to have Noah as the lead for the architect, and then you have Daryl as the lead guy to get people back to the community. So I mean, you have Rick's group kind of just going left and right, and then I think they also have Rosita as medical, what it seems from the promos for the next episode or something like that. And then usually he's the lead scientist, so she really didn't put herself in a really bright position. She's not. I understand where she comes from, but she's not really that bright when it comes to this situation. And it seems like in the next episode we're gonna see, minor predictions, but we're gonna see her kind of not, I guess, regretting her thoughts on it. And again, Father Gabriel the priest, so there's another title role for that group. So and it kind of seems like very slowly that group is taking over Alexandria, and Deanna, at first she thought it was a great idea, but she's kind of regretting it now, and it's kind of too late for her to actually take it back. Carol, she's the head chef. Again, I think the only 2 characters who aren't heads of anything are Judith and Carl. That's it. That's because they're children. Logic. And even after that, Carl with the promo that seems we're gonna have next week, we could see him maybe be the head of the teenagers or whatever, the kids. Judith, head of the babies. I don't know. Great episode. That's all I have to say. Double deaths, some of the goriest deaths ever we've ever seen on The Walking Dead. My favorite episode thus far that we've seen within Alexandria has to be this episode, because the first episode when they were actually in Alexandria, I just didn't like it. The next episode I thought was good. This episode, amazing. I mean, what can I say? Is there any negatives? Is there any negatives? This is what I wanted to see. Once they got to Alexandria, all hell break the fuck loose. Any negatives? I mean, thinking of negatives. What are the negatives? I mean, no, because that was pretty good. I mean, no, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good zombie kill. Yeah, there is no negatives in this episode. It's a perfect episode on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent. Perfect episode. 10 out of 10. Best episode in Alexandria. Probably the best episode. Second best episode in season 5. The first one has to be the first episode. Episode 1, season 5. Where just Carol goes Rambo on Terminus. I'm just saying that this episode is pretty high within the top 3 for season 5. I'm just saying that much. I think for me, it's got to be between 4 Walls and a Roof, this one, and probably the first episode. I forget what it's called already. But we have 2 episodes to go. I'm just saying this is probably going to be within my top 5 favorite episodes of The Walking Dead season 5. I'm just saying for that. I'm just saying, people. So yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, 10, amazing episode. Can't say it enough. I mean, yeah, and now discussion topics. These are the discussion topics I have for this week. Noah spotlight, Aiden character, Noah character spotlight, Aiden character spotlight. Should they have killed off Noah? Will Tara survive? Because again, she got hit by the explosions. Would Eugene have killed Nicholas when Nicholas came out of nowhere at the beginning? Nicholas is like, get in the car or I'm leaving you behind. And Eugene kind of just takes out his gun and he's about to kill Nicholas. And, would he have killed it? I don't know. Again. So, yeah. And who are the 4 graves for? Which is a discussion topic. Which is a discussion topic for that got off the promo, which is really interesting, which I will get to later in that discussion topic. So yeah, again, 10 out of 10, perfect episode. And yeah, that's basically it for now. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. Comment down below on your thoughts on this episode. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, aside from that, like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. Follow me on Instagram, which is Daniel Mart. And aside from that, like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace. Subscribe, comment down below, like the video. Share, follow on Instagram, and that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.